let's talk about spirituality. I'm going to put the camera here so I can concentrate. I should probably speak a bit louder. Here we go. What do I want to tell the people about spirituality? Spirituality is your relationship with reality. And everybody has a relationship with reality, whether you like it or not. Atheism is not less spiritual than Christianity, which is not less spiritual than Buddhism, which is not less spiritual than any other practice. We are all spiritual beings because we all have a relationship with reality, and none of us can actually know what reality is. Reality is this mysterious thing that everybody interacts with on a daily basis, and we all have different beliefs, opinions about what it is. If we were all to line up and discuss reality, none of us, absolutely none of us, would agree on everything. There are some basic things we can agree on, like gravity exists, but do good people get rewarded for good things? Is that a thing that happens? I don't know. Lots of people would have different opinions on that. That's not a simple thing either. You can say yes and have it be a complex opinion. You can say yes and disagree with the other yes. This thing, reality. You can call it reality, you can call it the universe, you can call it God. The label does not matter. I think the word God creates discomfort in people because of its association with organized religion. And organized religion is not spirituality. What else do I want to say about spirituality? Well, it affects a lot of things in your life. The relationship that you have with reality can often determine how your life manifests in reality, how life treats you, how you treat life, how you treat yourself. I am not going to say anything that's right or wrong because my spiritual path is different from other people's. But I will say it's a tool and an anchor that I've used in my own life that has pretty much indispensable value. It's probably the most valuable thing in my life. It is how I have gotten through the darkest times of my depression and the non-darkest times as well. I have come to it by going through all my struggles and seeing this is the common denominator between everything that exists every time I want to die. Not that I literally want to die, but every time I'm in a place that feels like death, these are the things that don't go away. These are the things that I can rely on. These things are probably a lot of things that you've heard before, but until you find them in your own life, the words don't mean anything. I really want to hammer home the idea that this has to do with relationship, and this has to do with reality. And the fact that this applies to every single living being. I want to hammer that home just because of the amount of people that get uncomfortable when we talk about God or religion or things like that. Or you don't have to accept those things at all. But I think we do need to realize that these religions were all an attempt to point at something. And just because they did a really bad job at pointing at the thing, or at, oppressing people who didn't point at the thing, or trying to control the population. Just because all those things happened doesn't mean that the thing they were pointing at doesn't exist. It exists. It just doesn't want to oppress you. It just doesn't align, actually, with the religions that oppress people. We don't get to completely write off religious, spiritual, and philosophical beliefs just because they've been perverted in the past to oppress people. We don't get to do that. We have to look at reality, look at what's consistent in our own lives, and notice that there are some things, some laws that will all keep coming back to us. And you can disagree with it. The interpretation of reality is subjective. I might say some stuff about my relationship with reality that you're like, no, that doesn't exist. That's just your opinion. And that will be true for some of these things. Some of these things will just be my opinion, but some of these things will also be rooted in truth. The only reason I know that they're rooted in truth is just because of how often they reoccur, how often they occur in other people's lives, how much it permeates history and all the different literature in history, all the different human beings that have lived. There are very common lessons and common philosophies that underscore almost every single culture, every single people. They've all learned a few different lessons that are the common denominator. And those things are not my opinion. Those things are actually true about reality. But saying that is dangerous because I need to interpret them first. Then I need to download them into my psyche. And then I need to translate them into words that I want to say. And then I need to say those words. And then you need to hear those words. You need to translate them through your ears and into your brain. And only then can you attempt to understand or relate to it. So there's a lot of ways things can go wrong. There's a lot of things that I can say wrong. But what is the point of the video? I know there's a lot of things I can say wrong. What is the thing that I'm trying to do despite all those risks? What am I attempting to do by talking about spirituality? I am attempting to share how it's helped in my own life. I am attempting to lay the groundwork for communication in the future about spirituality. I don't want to set any standards that people have to subscribe to. The point is, there are truths that I rely on to get me through my day. There are truths that I rely on to give me strength, to give me hope, to give me faith. Hope and faith are necessary if you're going through hardship. If you're going through extreme hardship, hope and faith are necessary. Okay, that is a truth that I can sell in this video. If you are going through like serious fucking hardship, you need hope and faith in something. If you don't, you will perish in some form. If you don't actually die, then good. But something's gonna break. If you're going through real hardship and you don't have hope and faith, something's gonna break, something's gonna happen. It's just not sustainable. It is not sustainable. Hope and faith are the coals in the engine we use to get through life. As Uncle Iro said, hope is something you give yourself in the darkest of times. That is the meaning of inner strength. God! that quote. I love that quote so much. Hope is something we give ourselves in the darkest of times. That is the meaning of inner strength. I've had to give myself hope out of nothing many times. Sometimes it hurts, sometimes I don't want to do it, but I still do it. And that's why I'm here. I guess another truth that I want to talk about is how your relationship with reality affects your relationship with life. It's very similar to your relationship with life. I'm not sure if they're really separable, actually. But if you feel good about your relationship with reality, you will feel good about life. If you feel bad about your relationship with reality, you will feel bad about your life. If you see a kid crying and you think, oh my god, I hate kids, they're always causing a nuisance and always being really loud, this is really annoying. That's not going to make you feel good. Or if you see a kid crying and you're like, hey, that kid needs help, and it looks like the parent is trying their best to administer that help, and maybe they're not doing the best job, but they're trying the best that they can. I know that's actually kind of beautiful, because there's these barriers in the way, there's society in the way, but the parent is trying the best that they can because they love their child. Oh my god, that's like actually a really lovely thing. I will probably be happier, or at least be better able to manage the sensory vibrations of the kid crying because I am thinking about reality in a positive light. I have a positive relationship with reality. Positive just meaning that it makes me feel good. I'm not trying to say it's better than anybody else. All I'm saying is that my relationship with reality makes me feel good. I'm happy with my relationship with reality. And that benefits me in my own life. Personally, that benefits me in my own life, and I know that for a fact. And I want to be able to reference it in all my other videos, because it is the core of who I am. It is literally the core of who I am. I have worked and toiled and experimented and tried and failed and succeeded at so many things in life, and I didn't realize it all the time, but all the while I was chipping away at and building my spirituality, my core of who I am. I was building it the entire time. And that's what I have to show for all my struggles. I don't have a degree in anything. I don't have that many years of experience in any job. I don't have a bunch of money. I don't have a bunch of projects that I can show people. I have not researched a bunch of things in life. I don't have that much education. But I do have this fucking massive, beautiful, intricate, detailed core that is connected really deeply to reality and to God and to myself. And I have a relationship with myself that is deeper than anything I have ever witnessed in life. And I'm fucking proud of that. I'm proud of it, and I also want to use it the same way somebody else would use their degree, same way somebody else would use their skills in a trade. I'm going to use the only skills I know, which are spiritual skills, try to help the world, to give some wisdom, some encouragement, some inspiration, hopefully, because this is what I'm best at. This video will not be the only thing that shows this. I'm just telling you about it, but you don't have proof of it yet. I will put in the work and make many more videos and attempt to translate my thoughts many more times, and hopefully eventually you will be able to learn some of the things that I've learned in my own life. I don't say that as somebody who thinks that my life is more special than other people's, or like more, you're not supposed to live life like me. I don't mean it in that regard. I just mean like, hey, I have some things that I've seen. I'm not sure if everybody's seen them. I just want to tell you about them. Just want to tell you about them. You don't have to listen, but if you want to, I'll be here, and I hope you get something out of it.